What's up, sisters and brothers? Hope you've had a great week. On this day in 1969, Mr. Neil Armstrong was the first human being to walk on the moon. So obviously a very, very big deal, and made the famous statement, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. So pretty awesome. It was a great week of the Money Savage podcast. We had Katie North on, financial advisor, talking about everything that goes into being an entrepreneur, everything that goes into starting a business, and a lot of the financial considerations that are often overlooked when you're taking on an entrepreneurial endeavor. So definitely check that out if that is on your mind or if it's not. We had Libby Gill, who is a best-selling author, a professional speaker and coach, and her most recent book, The Science of Hope, was very, 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 very cool to learn about, and there's actually a science behind it. So it's been studied and measured. So I've always heard that a phrase that hope is not a strategy. And I believe that if you're just hoping that things are going to work out and not taking any action or not being deliberate about it, I don't think that it's a very good strategy. But the science behind it is certainly a very interesting and compelling thing. And finally, we had Kate Dorr on to talk about being mindful with your spending and and understanding how you're spending or allocating your resources, which is a fairly common topic on the show, but it was awesome to get Kate's take on all of that. And it made me think about the idea of don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. But that does not apply here, because the small choices that you make with your money on a daily basis add up to a very, very large amount down the road. And I think it's so important to be mindful of how you're spending your money, right down to the little things. Obviously, if you're spending way too much on your house or your car, or you've got a mountain of debt, that's going to be more important to address than the little things like a $5 cup of coffee every day or going out to lunch every day. But just like John Glenn said, or rather Neil Armstrong said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. One small little decision on a daily basis today has a dramatic impact on your future self and your future self's ability to be financially successful. So, got to keep that stuff in mind, because death by 1,000 cuts is a real thing, and if you're not careful, you will wake up and you'll be running through $20, $30, $50, $100 a day on frivolous stuff that is not really enhancing your overall quality of life. I'm never going to advocate that any of us, myself included, take any kind of a vow of poverty, but we need to be smart about these things. So just want to encourage you to do that. Want to encourage you to have an awesome weekend, as always. But examine your habits. Examine your spending habits today. Examine your spending habits over the past week. Examine your spending habits coming up here into the future to make sure that you're not compromising your future self with your current behaviors. So I know that you can do it. We need you to do it. You have to do it, because we're all in this together.